Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Hookzilla podcast. I'm here with Mr. Bones once again.
Hello.
We have had a weird couple of weeks where we've been locked down and just kind of want to go over some things that have kind of kept us afloat since we haven't been able to basically leave the house other than for him to go to work or to pick up the bare necessities at a grocery store. I know probably one of the bigger things that's been kind of crap is, just not seeing our families, which we kind of talked about last time. But we've fallen into YouTube rabbit holes, and there are several YouTube channels that I know personally have been super helpful. I've been obsessed with comic trips. They're not creating any new content, but they have a great webisode channel.
It's sort of like there's shows like this for almost everything, like even on TV, right? Like it's like pickers and shit. Like people go around and like they buy the fucking storage units and things like that, things that became reality TV. And like what's great about YouTube is like you get to hand pick what type of content you want, and there's an example of almost everything out there, and you kind of curate. It's like what you always wanted cable to be, right? Do you want the golf channel? Fuck no. But you have to buy cable and it comes in this package. Well, YouTube sort of allows you to curate what you see. And so Comic Trips is a show that I found basically right about when it started, which would have been probably 2015 or so.
I think so.
But it's this couple, Paul and Kat, and they're from New Jersey. And apparently New Jersey is a hotbed for like comic book shops and like specialty shops and nerd shops and stuff like that. And so they travel around their area and go into stores and they film and they film the stores and they buy, toys and comics and like, all the things we're into.
Right.
And they'll interview the owners of the shops most of the time, stuff like that. It's just a super cool show. But yeah, they've got, so on the channel, there's a lot of content, but actual episodes of the show, there's like 82 or so, and they're roughly 20 minutes to 40 minutes long each. And I've gone through it probably 2 or 3 times, but like I'm enjoying it just as much, with your first time going through it.
Yeah, it's very funny to me because I know that there's this stupid, like, there are no girls like me. But around here, there really aren't that many. I like weird stuff.
Or dudes like me.
So no, like we like weird things for people in the South or around here specifically. We don't go hunting or fishing. I don't know what Southern women do, but I don't do that. So to watch Kat specifically, like she's basically a tiny version of me. Mm. She belches and she swears and she likes horror and metal and comic books and cartoons and she's way more into Kingdom Hearts than me, but otherwise, like just her basic mannerisms is like, oh my God, she acts like me. And it even went as far because we've been watching this pretty much nonstop. I sent her a message on Twitter, I think I just tweeted something at her and she responded and we had like a back and forth for a second and I was just like, oh, she spoke to me. It was kind of a big deal. I just wanted, to let her know specifically, like I know they aren't creating content for personal reasons and that's their business. But I wanted her to know kind of how important it was that what they did create exists because it's entertaining us.
Thankfully it's still there.
Yeah, like
like nothing for whatever went down. At least neither one of them was like take all that shit off YouTube or whatever. Right?
Yeah, I mean people are gonna have
because it's an amazing show. It really
It is. Like, and they're quirky and it's entertaining and it's interesting because it's things that we would like to see. And now I think we're watching them go cross country, and it's stuff that I'm like, oh, we should do that. We should go to this place and check out that store.
Right.
Because otherwise we wouldn't even know about these places.
Exactly.
So that's been endlessly entertaining for me.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. And this is kind of the idea for this episode was sort of, you know, because I know like I'm getting older, but I got into YouTube kind of late. Like YouTube has been a thing for a long time, but the idea of subscribing to things and watching YouTube on my television was something that I never would have even considered until I had a job where I sat at a fucking desk all day and stared at a computer screen.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, you know, like the video game stuff was the first thing I got into, but I realized that everything is on YouTube. No matter what you're into, it's on YouTube. And you'll find somebody you connect with. And sort of the idea for this was to be like, hey, you know, we're all kind of stuck inside. And yeah, we're watching Netflix and we're watching, you know, if you subscribe to the idea that physical media is important, and I don't know why you wouldn't, because if this shit goes as sideways as it could possibly go, there may not be internet. So guess who's going to be living fat down south? Your boy. Because I got all these motherfucking movies and all these motherfucking video games that I can play without the internet. Yep. But anyway, just in case there's people out there who are older, like my age, or, you know, whatever, or for whatever reason, don't do the YouTube thing. Take advantage of it. Because there's a lot of fucking free entertainment on there. And it don't cost you a dime. And whatever you're into, it's on there. And so the idea for this was like kind of just talk about what we've been watching.
Yeah.
You know,
Comic Trips #1.
Comic Trips we're obsessed with at the moment. But there's a lot of
Game Chasers
great content.
Has been a close second for me.
Yeah. Game Chasers is fun. I love the Game Chasers. You know, same thing. Not so much shops. The first season or so, they go to a lot more shops than they end up going to later, but it's
a lot of flea markets, actually.
They do a lot.
Later seasons.
Well, the whole show. Like, that's mainly their thing. Like, they are retro gamers, and they go around hunting for old video games. Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
And it's so fun to watch them find something that's super rare.
Mm-hmm.
And their reaction to it is so genuine and almost like childlike and innocent. It's
Which
precious.
makes sense because they're both huge children.
Yes. But, I mean, and they are great. And it's just, you know, this couple of guys, and they made a series on YouTube that we've watched while we can't leave the house.
Yeah, and before, like, we start, you know, kind of getting into a lot of... So it's super... Like, you would think, oh, it's just, you know, people with their cell phones and they're just recording themselves being stupid. But no, like, a lot of the shows that I watch and that you watch, they're edited and they have sound equipment.
Oh, it's way more...
It's legit like watching a TV show, only you get to choose the type of content. Like, I know, like, everybody probably watches YouTube, but like, just on the off chance, because like I said, I got into it late, so maybe honestly, somebody who listens to this
I use YouTube as like a reference tool. Mm-hmm. I never really watched anything on the regular.
Right.
So, like, if I needed to fix plumbing.
Right, YouTube.
I YouTubed it. Something went wrong in my car. I YouTubed it.
And it very much is that.
Absolutely.
But it's also an entertainment tool.
I've taken apart a dryer and put it back together because of YouTube. It was great.
Yep.
But I never really watched anything. Like, I subscribed to a billion things. I just never really kept up with it. Another one that I think I had subscribed to but not really kept up with until recently was Nightmare Maven. Mm-hmm. Which I know you watch.
Yeah, we're looking at her right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Her lists are wonderful.
She's an example of a YouTuber who puts in so much effort and deserves so much more exposure than she has.
Yeah.
She's a horror channel, for those of you who like horror films. She's younger, And so like her perspective is interesting because she's not one of these people who's like this old jaded horror fan who grew up in,
like us.
right, but it grew up in the what finger quote golden age of horror, the 80s. She's a 90s kid and her favorite movie is Scream. And so it's fun to watch because she does reviews. She's huge into books. She reviews books, which I don't do. I don't read a lot of novels. Like I read comics, but she reads, like she has a book club, but like that she does every month and stuff like that. So her channel is really cool. She puts in a ton of fucking work into it. And
they are very, very well done, well edited. Mm-hmm. She's so knowledgeable about so many things to be so young.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying that young people aren't knowledgeable. It's just, she seems so much more knowledgeable beyond her age.
She's also funny.
Oh, she's hilarious.
Like Safety Maven cracks me up.
Safety Maven's the greatest.
Yeah. Yeah.
The hard hat kills me.
I know, and the gloves.
His match gloves.
But also, like, I'm so jealous of her, like the guts that she has to just turn on a camera because I can't do it.
Even starting like this is a lot easier for me, and it's funny because until the beginning of this year, if you told me that I was going to do a podcast, I would have been like, no, the hell I'm not. Mm. Like, there's no way I'm going to record my voice for other people to listen to because I don't like hearing myself. Mm. And then I end up not only with a podcast, but also a YouTube channel where I'm on camera. Like,
yeah,
I'm
not there yet.
insanely shy that every single time we record the podcast, I'm a lot more cool with. Like, This just me and you having a conversation. There just happens to be something recording it. And sometimes it's not that big of a deal because I forget. But the camera on me, like when we set up like the little studio area, that is immediate panic. Mm-hmm. Like my heart pounds and like I feel like I'm sweating. It's so terrifying. She makes it look like she's talking like we're talking right now.
Exactly.
Like it's not even a thing. And she's so comfortable and confident. And I want to be like her when I grow up. And she's so much younger than me.
Right.
And she's so great at like transitioning from this thing to that thing. Like she's so seamless in how she does things. And just for entertainment value, she's wonderful.
Yeah, love Night. Yeah, Vicky's great. Nightmare Maven. And then gotta give a shout out to my favorite YouTube channel, Bloodbath and Beyond.
Oh God, yes.
Been watching Jay and John and Travis. Like I've been watching them for years. Watched Jay stream on Twitch for years. Like used to hang out when he was doing that thing every night. Thirsty Thursdays. Need to bring him back.
That would be great.
But yeah, Bloodbath and Beyond is another horror channel, but specifically caters to not only B-list movies, but probably Z-list movies. Like the only channel I know of that would review shit like Shark Exorcist.
Oh, wow.
Like the Z-list, sci-fi, and they fucking love it. And that's why I love that channel.
They're great. And I mean, they're such nice, normal guys who are kind of like what we would be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just sitting and talking about stuff. And their content is so well edited and so well put together.
Jay is super talented when it comes to that stuff. Like, he's Twitch, he's streamed editing on Twitch before. And I literally sat here for hours and just watched him edit an episode.
Oh, he's amazing.
And chatted with him.
And the great thing about him specifically is he's super responsive. And you had given me the idea to reach out to him about what kind of software worked best for editing. And I was like, he's not going to respond to me. Who am I? But, I've watched them for a very long time too. I just haven't really spoken to anybody. I'm not one to like talk to people typically. Right. So I did. I sent him a message on Instagram and he was like, oh yeah, it's this, this, and this. And like, these are free, but these are slightly better. And I've actually tried 2 of the 3 that he suggested, and I broke down and, bought the Adobe. But yeah, no, like, he's super helpful and he's so full of knowledge. And obviously he's been doing this a while because their content is so professionally done.
Yeah. But also the way they speak, it's funny. They're so like they know what they're talking about when they review a movie, and they're so, like you said, knowledgeable. But like the way they speak to the technical aspects.
Oh yeah.
Of a movie, you'd think they'd be reviewing way bigger budget stuff than fucking Sharknado or Clownnado.
I can't remember.
But that's what they like. So that's what they talk about.
Film it was that they were watching, and it was a girl walking around in underwear. And they're dudes. Obviously.
I remember the one.
Like this was one of my favorite reviews actually. And she like ends up doing all these drugs, and they're like, but the lighting and the way color is used.
Right.
Like Jay specifically is talking about how artistically done the visuals are. And I'm like, it's a movie about a girl who's doing drugs and you don't know if that guy's a bad guy, and she's in her underpants and it's super like cheesy. But visually, like the scenes the clips they showed, it is beautiful.
Right.
And I was like, well, I mean, he's not wrong.
Right.
And he's talking about this like
it's high art.
You would overlook that though because of what it is.
Right, right.
But you kind of zero in on the fact that, well, this is art because someone made this as their art. And if you take out the silliness of it, visually it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Not just the half-naked girl in her underpants, but the color and it's like washes of color.
Cinematography and like the camera angles and things like the things that you don't pay any attention to, they do pay attention to.
Right.
And that's why their channel is amazing.
Exactly. And, I wouldn't be surprised if, he could make a movie himself and it would be great. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Definitely want to give them props because.
For sure. It's my favorite. It's been my favorite YouTube channel forever.
Yes. Watching a lot of cooking YouTube for someone that doesn't cook. Like, I didn't even watch cooking YouTube shows. My kids did, like specifically my youngest son, he likes to watch cooking shows. So he knew about binging with Babish.
Yeah. Well, so it started with Epic Mealtime. Actually, it didn't. It started with regular, ordinary Swedish mealtime for me. That was my first cooking show. And
that one I can't.
They stopped making content forever ago. But if you have not seen the episodes they've done, please go look that show up. It's hilarious. It's a bunch of dudes in Sweden who cook, but it's done very tongue in cheek and it's very comedic. Like we're not going to spend like much time on this, but just look it up. But so for instance, they speak English, but it's like not super good English.
Like Swedish Chef English?
Not that bad.
Okay, good.
But like they'll do something like step 1, melt the butter. And then like the guy will throw butter on the counter and scream at it and it melts. Like and it's fucking great. Or he's like chop the broccoli. And like they'll throw a big ass thing of broccoli down and he'll get a fucking battle axe and just beat the shit out of it. And then in the edit, the next thing you see is this finely chopped broccoli. So it's great. But from that, I went to Epic Mealtime, which I'm sure everyone
has seen that, yeah.
But if you haven't, especially the old episodes, like look
I
up
watched
Epic
it years
Mealtime.
ago. I got out of it for a while because I quit watching YouTube. But
yeah, from that I've gone to
binging with Babish.
Binging with Babish.
You're so fancy now.
Love him. He has that like soothing monotone voice. And he also makes food from TV shows. That was the thing that I found.
Yeah, the movies and TV.
Yeah.
Like, it's very entertaining to watch him recreate some stuff. And, like, I don't know if he's actually, like, professionally culinary trained, but he should have been. Like, he's amazing.
He presents himself as if he wasn't. But also,
he's very good.
He has to have been.
Yeah. Because, like, I've been cooking my entire life. And I'm not claiming to be good at anything, But I've watched him, do things that I wouldn't attempt on a good day. Like,
Right.
can I make homemade pie crust? Absolutely. Would I make homemade pie crust? Absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
I say that. I have. I'm not going to lie. But why would I? I could go buy it.
Yeah.
He does everything from like scratch and works all this effort into it. And it's very simply done. It's just him standing in front of a camera with an apron.
And you even see his head.
Yeah. It's like neck down, him in front of a counter doing things to make food.
Mm-hmm.
And he
with his
talks
voiceover.
over.
Yeah.
Explaining what he's doing. But it's, even in its simplicity, it's so comforting.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most relaxing YouTube channel I've ever heard.
Yep.
Because I can't deal with ASMR.
Fuck that shit.
That's not a thing for me.
Nope.
Just his voice.
Although if you're into it, let us know, because Hook will absolutely whisper.
Yeah, he hates it though. Like,
I do, but I'm saying if somebody is listening to this and they want to listen to you whisper, please pay us money for you to whisper.
I absolutely will whisper at you for money. My name is Hook, for God's sakes. I've actually never explained that.
Mm-mm.
No.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah,
Like you said.
it'll be one day.
In your first video, we'll get there.
Yeah. One day. Years from now. But binging with Babish then led you to Sam the Cooking Guy.
So you get your recommendations, and I'd seen forever Sam the Cooking Guy.
Yeah.
Never clicked on a video. Because like I saw him, and I was like, I don't want to listen to this guy until you look at him. Because he's like, he looks super nerdy or something. I don't know. But like, because like the cooking shows that I watched for specific reasons, right? The Swedish mealtime thing was hilarious.
Right.
I didn't give a shit what they were cooking. I watched it for them and the dumb shit they did, right?
Right.
And then Epic Mealtime was awesome because they were also dumb, but they did dumb shit and they like made this huge, stupid things, right? They do like they're just stoners
Fast food lasagna.
who get drunk and like make ridiculous things. Like 100-pound Big Macs.
Okay,
and shit,
for
right?
someone who can't have their food touching, the stuff they made, I could never have eaten.
Well, nobody should ever eat anything they made. But the thing is, you could eat it. Like they legitimately cooked.
And they ate it.
Yeah. And so like
that.
it started with that, and binging with Babish, it was because of the TV thing, right? He made, I think probably one of the first things I watched was him making something from The Simpsons or something. Like it would have been something like that.
It was the Rich Creamery Butter Burger thing.
I don't know if that was the first thing I saw, but whatever it was, I saw
the first one I
first.
saw.
It definitely was it was either from The Simpsons or another show that I love. But then Sam the Cooking Guy is just a guy who cooks. And I'm like, I don't watch cooking stuff. I'm not old. I mean, I'm old, but I don't cook. So that's not entertaining me. And then finally, it was recommended so many times. He made, I don't know, it was the Baconator, maybe? It was something. He made something that
It was the chicken sandwiches.
Something I was familiar with he made. And I was like, oh, all right, whatever. So I just put it on. And I was like, he's fucking hilarious.
He's great.
I love Sam the Cooking Guy.
Like, not only does he cook things that we have replicated during the quarantine.
You have.
A lot of them. Like, I've done chicken sandwich based on his chicken sandwiches. I've done burgers based on his burgers. Like I did the Baconator recreation.
Yep.
We made Big Mac sauce. You made Big Mac sauce. I didn't.
I did make Big Mac sauce.
Like all based on.
I now have Japanese mayonnaise in my refrigerator because of Sam the Cooking Guy.
Damn it. Yeah, you can find it on Amazon. It's super awesome.
It is good.
It is good. But he swears by Japanese mayo, and I was like, what's so great about Japanese mayo? And then I bought it, and I was like, oh my God, this is great.
He was right.
But he always has these super hilarious t-shirts. And there was one that raises money. 100% of the proceeds were going to some COVID
to feed the hungry
yeah.
during the COVID crisis.
So I bought one, but I want every shirt.
Yeah, they're
That's
all
what's
great.
so bad. It's like fat means flavor. Like It's just
if fat means flavor, I'm fucking delicious.
Yes,
is one of the big
it's
shirts.
so great. I want all of them.
Yeah.
It's just he's super funny, and his son is actually a camera guy. He does all the editing and like
films
producing
and edits, and his son's wife does editing.
But
the thing about him is like he legitimately makes food. Like he owns 2 restaurants and like he is a professional cook. But you know, he cooks in his backyard on this amazing like
the
flat top thing.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called.
It's the Evo. It's like a round hibachi looking thing.
Even when he makes food that I would never eat, he makes it look fucking delicious.
Right? Like I have issues about food touching, and the one we watched today was like some fries with steak and cheese sauce on top. And while those things individually I would kill, you put them together, I'm not going to eat it. But it was beautiful, like presented in such a way that the colors worked well. Like it was like art. And I was like, would I eat it? Probably not. But is it pretty? Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like he's done Philly cheesesteaks where we've gone back and made Philly cheesesteaks behind that. So, any weight that I put back on, it's going to be because of Sam the cooking guy. Damn him. Because we were doing really well before all this happened. We were not eating bread.
Right.
Like, we had started using wraps and we were doing lettuce buns.
And thanks to him, I now know that brioche buns are fucking delicious.
God, we had brioche burgers today.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a yoga swing. I could get up and get off my ass, but instead I choose to eat burgers with buns.
That's fine.
It's fine. It's no big deal.
The world's coming to an end. We're all going to be dead soon.
REM plays yet again. It's on a loop. But yeah, so if you have any like YouTube or, you know, any kind of content that you've been watching, like let us know what it is so we can check it out too. Because we really want to give props to the people that are entertaining us during all the BS we're having to go through right now. I know between that and me, I've rewatched Scrubs.
Yeah.
Like,
amazing show.
I've watched that so many times.
That show's timeless.
I think
that show's almost the original Office, but like nobody talks about it anymore.
I love that show.
I know.
It's great.
It is great.
And the inner monologue is like, it works with me because I talk to myself a lot.
Right.
I don't know if other people do, but I just assumed everyone did. But apparently they don't. So, yeah, I love that. So I've watched a lot of Scrubs. And I got Animal Crossing. I'm trying to not like it.
I don't know how you could, because so far all I've seen you do is get stung by fucking bees.
I'm so angry. Like, okay, so here, I got it for my kid for his birthday. And then in my being on lockdown, he felt bad and brought it to me and left it on the steps, and I had to go get it. And then we talked on the porch for a while. Like, he was in the yard and I was on the porch. So I was like, I'm going to play Animal Crossing. Everybody's telling me how great it is. And I had tried playing it on a GameCube when I lived in Iceland, and it didn't work out for me. I was not super into it. And then I have it on DS. So I played that, and I didn't really like it. But I thought maybe there's something I'm missing. So I put it in the Switch, and I was like, okay, so what, 3 days? I played a couple hours. And then I put in Mario Odyssey, and I've been playing Mario Odyssey ever since. Like, I have not put Animal Crossing back in.
Well, that's like, it's 1,000,000% not for me. And I know that from watching Gene play it. It was the only amusement I ever got out of Animal Crossing was when he put it in the GameCube at the apartment back in the day. And the first thing you'd ask him to do was draw a face on a character, and he drew a dick on it.
Of course. And
I was like, that's great. That's hilarious. And so there was a guy or a girl, whatever it was, a character walking around on our GameCube that had a dick for a face. And while that was amusing, I was like, well, now what?
You go fishing.
And he's like, you go fishing and you
dig holes.
You garden. And I was like, you know, we have shooters in the house. Like, we've got Street Fighter, for fuck's sake. And this is what you choose to do? Like, no, I'm good,
Okay, see, and that's the thing. Like, as I'm sitting here playing this, I I tried, and like I get that my friends love it, and they're like, "Oh, well, you can do this and this." And
The fucking world loves it.
You can go travel to your friend's house. It's lost on me. I tried. It's not for me. I'll give it back to my kid, and he can do whatever he wants. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I absolutely had forgotten how much I love Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, that's a great game.
In 2 days, I've almost beaten the game again, and I've not played it at all today. Yeah. But like, while you worked over the weekend, like that's pretty much what I did. I played Mario Odyssey and watched Scrubs. So it's a lot of catching up on things that I haven't realized I missed.
Yeah, which is, while we look for silver linings, during this fucked up ass time that we're going through, it's important to, like some things are comfort food, and that's great. You could binge The Office again, or, whatever it is. But also, like, it's also important to kind of stumble across new things, or, just find something that keeps you from going fucking crazy. And whether you watch YouTube or not, or, but particularly if you watch YouTube, or if somebody is in the same situation that we're in, but they're doing what they can to still create content that you find entertaining, let them know.
Yeah.
Thank them for it. Let them know that you appreciate it, or that it helps you. Because, like, I do a podcast once every 2 weeks, and we do this, I do this show with you as often as we do it, which isn't even on that regular of a schedule. But man, it can be tiring, and it can feel like you're doing it for no reason. And I think it's probably that way for everybody. Everybody's we're all going through the same thing.
Yeah.
Just reach out, man. Find a way to if somebody is helping you get through this in any way, as minor as it might be, they're going through it too. So just this kind of was the idea for this show. Just thank them. Just say thank you. And let them know that what they're doing, is at least making your time during this horrible situation a little easier. And that may, it'll make them feel good, but it also may, boost their morale and make them get them energized to keep doing the content and stuff. And that's important, for both parties, right?
Well, I mean, admittedly, I like I said, when we talked about doing this, and when I was talking about making a YouTube channel, I was like, nobody's going to watch it. And then when you have people who, send you a message and they're like, oh, I love this about this show, and you're getting feedback and people are actually enjoying what you're saying, it does motivate you to want to do more. Mm-hmm. Like, I've gone back and listened to every episode of y'all's podcast from the beginning. Twice. Since all this has been going on. Huh?
No, I just can't imagine.
It's wonderful. It's great. I have died laughing. But, I listen to podcasts while I do housework. That's totally a thing. And that's regular. That's not even in this stuff. So, like, for me, that's kind of a thing.
Yep.
But something else I wanted to touch on is okay, so I mentioned the last time we did this that I wasn't feeling well and all that stuff. I didn't publicly say anything about not feeling well, like socially. Like, so I didn't want my family to freak out. But my parents ended up finding out anyway. It was a big bunch of chaos for a couple weeks, but now I'm fine and everything's great. It's not an issue. But people who heard me saying something about, being under the weather on this podcast, like, were reaching out and, I'm sorry you don't feel well. And like, even that, like, to know that people actually give a shit and are worried and want to make sure you're okay. Like, just have people check on you. Because I've got people that I've been friends with for 20 years who don't acknowledge I exist.
Right, yeah.
And they're supposed to be like my best friends. So
I have family that knows I work at a hospital who I've not heard from. So.
Exactly. Like, it's like, you know what? You start to realize, like, maybe there's this transition to where people that you've been, and I'm using air quotes, you've been friends with or you've been close to because of proximity or because you were supposed to be friends with them. This has made you not be able to see people.
Right.
So you start to realize the people that you value and the people that value you.
Yes.
And, you know, I have wonderful family. I have a great little sister who has checked on me and taken care of my house and, you know, done everything like for me. My mom who calls me, my dad who was threatening to like drive me to the ER when I couldn't get my fever to drop. Like, you realize who gives a shit. And then I realized who didn't even speak to me for 2 weeks. My coworkers, like, I didn't even realize I was going to miss people I worked with until one of my coworkers went back home to Virginia to be with her mom through all this. And when she called me the other day, I was just like, oh my God, her voice, like, I just miss her. You don't realize that. And that's huge. Like, I never thought I'd be like, I'm ready to go. I want to go back to work. Can I go back to work? Can I go back and see my friends at work? I do. I miss that place. So that's a big thing. But otherwise, until they let me go back to work, because I don't know when that's going to be, I'm going to continue to sit here and play video games. Probably never Animal Crossing again. It's not for me. I can watch you play Doom. Yeah. That I will never play either, but I can watch you do it. Or we will play Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. And Tekken is the middle ground. I might not ever win at Street Fighter, and that's okay. I will never win at Street Fighter. Well, we've established that. And also we've established that I get very angry when I lose.
We have established that.
I have a temper. But that's fine. It was fun.
At least I'm a gracious winner. I don't.
No. You don't rub it in at all.
No.
We stood in the middle of the living room floor because we were like so hyped up, screaming at one another while playing. It was Tekken, actually. We were playing Tekken. And I actually won a round. And then you kicked my ass. And I was like in the middle of the floor, just bouncing from foot to foot, trying to push all the buttons in the right order. It was horrible. But this is what we're doing for fun. And it is great. So I guess, you know, just make the most of what you can while you have the time. And
if you're making content, thank you.
Yes.
And you're doing a great job. And we appreciate you very much.
I actually had someone on Twitter who she said something like, if you have a YouTube channel, you know, drop the link here. And I went
do that too, man. Promote. If you're enjoying something, not only reach out to the person and tell them that, but fucking tell everybody else, right?
Yeah, share it. Like, so I went and subbed to her stuff, and like she subbed to mine. Like, now we're sharing everybody's everything, and it's great. I mean, and is that not what we're supposed to be doing? Like,
but like now more than any other, like you should have already been doing that.
Yeah.
Not you, but I'm saying people. But yeah.
And so if, you know, you find this on a social platform, like you see a link on Twitter or whatever, like share it, add yours. If you are, you know, a creator, or you have a YouTube channel or whatever, like send us your YouTube information. We'll share it. We'll tell other people about it. So we just kind of want everyone to enjoy everything. Like, if there's something,
boost each other up. You
know.
Let's try to make the best of this horrible situation.
We don't know when this is going to be remotely over or back to what we think of as normal, because it will never be like that again. They're talking about my job becoming like a virtual store location. I don't know what that means for me and like what my specific job description is, because I basically manage a sales floor. And if there's no sales floor to manage, do I even have a job? But it's a process, and we'll get there. But in the meantime, send us your info and we will share it and try to get the word out and get people to enjoy your work, and we will enjoy your work, and everybody has to work together. But I don't have anything else that I could think of. That was it. Yeah. I just had a post today on the YouTube channel for the Hookzilla watches. It was for the Blair Witch Project, which the viewer that requested that was actually my mom. And I wasn't going to call her out for that, but I kind of want to, because my mom does not watch horror movies. I think that was one of the last ones she watched because it scared the shit out of her. Mm-hmm. So the last time we were at her house for dinner, she was like, oh, you should do that. And so I promised her I would. So if you get to watch the most recent Hookzilla watches, it's the Blair Witch Project for my mom. So check that out. Also, you guys had a podcast go up this morning.
Yep. Episode 94 of Divided by Werewolves
93
went live this morning. We talked about lots of video games, and then we talked about The Hunt and Underwater. One was great. You should watch. You absolutely should watch. And the other, there are reasons to watch it, but it wasn't great.
I agree with your sentiment on that. Absolutely. But you should check out that podcast as well. Typically for the YouTube channel, I link it at the end so that people can click on it and go see your stuff. But you can also search Divided by Werewolves on most podcast platforms.
As far as I know.
Yeah, it's everything that I've ever seen a podcast put on. So, but I think with that, I'm going to call episode 3 done. And I want to say thank you to you for sitting here with me for the third time to talk about my random thoughts. And until next time, you can find you on Twitter at Mr._Bones.
Yep.
Instagram is the same.
Everywhere.
Pretty much everywhere, yeah. And I'm Hookzilla on everywhere. So, until next time, thank you.